The Eagles are facing a storm right now, and it's hard to overstate just how many moving parts are struggling on this team. Kevin Patchello remains the offensive play caller, but the issues run far deeper than one man. The offensive unit as a whole has been underwhelming this season, and after the recent loss to the Chicago Bears, the frustration has spilled over into the fan base, with reports of his house being vandalized. That incident, while extreme, is a reflection of the intense disappointment surrounding this team's offensive struggles. And when you dig into the numbers and performances, it's clear that the problems are both systemic and personnel-based. Starting with the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, it's evident that he hasn't been able to carry the team effectively in the second half of games, particularly since the bye week. His performances against Dallas, Green Bay, Detroit, and most recently Chicago have all been inconsistent at best. Missed reads, errant throws, and general lapses in processing have plagued his play. Historically, an effective offensive coordinator can elevate a quarterback's game, and we've seen that with coaches like Shane Steichen and Kel Moore, who maximize Hurts' potential in previous seasons. However, this year, there's no denying that Hurts himself shares some of the responsibility for the struggles, as the timing, accuracy, and decision-making just haven't been there. Turning to the offensive line, the investments made into the trenches were supposed to secure a strong foundation. Jordan Mailata at left tackle, Landon Dickerson at left guard, Cam Jurgens at center, and Lane Johnson at right tackle are among the highest-paid linemen in football, yet their performance this season has been far from what was expected. Lane Johnson's injuries haven't helped, but the lack of consistency across the line has been glaring. Run blocking has been poor, creating minimal lanes for Saquon Barkley, while pass protection has shown the same weaknesses that plagued the Eagles in past seasons. The offensive line is supposed to be the backbone of the team, and when that foundation falters, the entire offensive system is exposed. The running game, which should be a strength, has been disappointing as well. Barkley's vision and decision-making have been underwhelming, but the bigger issue is the inability of the offensive line to create explosive opportunities. Yards before contact have dropped significantly compared to last year, and the game against the Bears highlighted how underutilized Barkley has been, with fewer than 15 carries in a cold, windy game that demanded a more physical approach. When an offense can't establish the run, it puts extra pressure on the quarterback and limits play-calling flexibility. Execution and penalties have further compounded the issues. Players continue to point out that assignments are being missed, blocks are failing, and the little things, those fundamentals that win games, are being overlooked. Penalties have consistently backed the team into difficult situations, resulting in third-and-long scenarios that are tough to convert and erode confidence. The Eagles have had one of the highest numbers of 3-and-outs in the league this season, a statistic that underscores the struggles in both execution and efficiency. Scheme and play calling are also major concerns. While Kevin Patchello bears responsibility as the current play caller, the overall offensive scheme falls under Nick Sirianni's leadership. Historically, Sirianni has maintained control over the system and emphasized a particular style of play. Yet this offense has lacked creativity, predictability has been a recurring problem, and route concepts are limited. Relying on players to win one-on-one matchups consistently is risky, especially against modern defensive schemes. Comparisons to other top offenses across the league highlight just how conservative and unadventurous the Eagles' approach has been, particularly in pre-snap motion and misdirection, areas where teams like the 49ers, Chiefs, and Titans have been more innovative and effective. Observing the Bears' recent offensive strategies only magnifies these deficiencies. Their use of motion, misdirection, and varied route concepts put the Eagles' play calling to shame. And when you see coordinators like Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, or Sean McVay in action, it becomes clear that rhythm, feel, and consistency are what differentiate elite offenses from mediocre ones. Kevin Patchello's play calling has lacked these qualities throughout the season, and the offensive unit seems to mirror that uncertainty. Jalen Hurts, in particular, looks lost at times, and it's concerning when a player who was previously dynamic shows visible regression in processing and execution. The Eagles' offensive numbers make for grim reading. They rank 28th in success rate among 32 teams, producing positive plays less frequently than teams like the New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets, who do not possess the same level of talent. Hers, Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas G.E.D. are all capable of making big plays, yet the offense struggles to convert even moderately successful opportunities. Positive plays, yards gained, and third down conversions are all areas where the unit underperforms relative to its potential, highlighting both strategic and execution-related flaws. Adding to the challenges is a resistance to adaptability. Jalen Hurts' reluctance to run more often is impacting the offense's flexibility. Design quarterback runs, read options, and quarterback draws could help the Eagles sustain momentum, open lanes for Barkley, and relieve pressure on the passing game. While it's understandable that Hurts wants to minimize injury risk, there's a balance to be struck between protecting oneself and enabling the offense to operate efficiently. Tempo is another area where adjustments could have a major impact. When the Eagles have run a faster-paced, up-tempo offense, the results have been noticeably better. Drives become more fluid, decision-making improves, and Hurts has more opportunities to exploit mismatches. However, the team has often reverted to a slower approach, letting the clock run down and allowing defenses more time to react. Finding the right balance and tempo could simplify decision-making for Hurts and energize an offense that currently looks lethargic and hesitant on the field. The design of the offense itself also needs refinement. Incorporating more RPOs, varying formations, and using plays under center more frequently could force defenses to account for multiple threats at once. This would open up opportunities for Barkley and create space in the passing game. Unfortunately, the current play calling has often been rigid and predictable, failing to take full advantage of the talent at the Eagles' disposal. The contrast between what elite offensive coordinators are doing across the league and the Eagles' current system is stark, and that gap shows up on game day in the form of stalled drives, missed opportunities, and an overall lack of offensive identity. From the outside, it appears that the Eagles have the talent to compete at the highest level, yet the inconsistency on offense is undermining that potential. With the season moving into its final stretch, changes, whether in play-calling approach, tempo, utilization of personnel, or creative scheming, are increasingly necessary to unlock the capabilities of this roster. Simply relying on star power or isolated talent will not solve these systemic issues, and the team's leadership faces pressure to find solutions that breathe life into an offense that has shown flashes but far too many frustrations. Looking ahead, the Eagles' challenge isn't just fixing the mechanics of their offense. It's rebuilding confidence and creating trust between players and the system. Kevin Patchello, despite remaining as the play caller, has struggled to ignite the energy and cohesion that a dynamic offense demands. Jalen Hurts' hesitation on the field reflects a lack of rhythm in the play calling. And when your quarterback is second-guessing himself, it cascades into a chain reaction. Routes are mistimed, blocks are missed, and defenses take advantage of predictable patterns. The problem isn't simply that Hurts isn't performing at an MVP-caliber level every week. It's that the system isn't set up to maximize his strengths consistently. One of the most glaring areas in need of improvement is the offensive line. Saquon Barkley's effectiveness is tied directly to the performance of those in front of him, and when Mailata, Dickerson, Juergens, and Johnson can't create even modest lanes, the running game suffers, and the passing game becomes one-dimensional. In games where Barkley has been able to get space, the offense suddenly looks alive, and the tempo of the game improves, giving Hurts better reads and more confidence to make aggressive throws. But those moments are rare, because the line hasn't been able to sustain its assignments or handle pressure consistently. Injuries like Lane Johnson's certainly don't help, but this isn't a problem that can be solved with talent alone. Communication, technique, and coordination must improve if the Eagles hope to become a true offensive threat. Penalties have also sapped momentum. Time and again, drives stall because of holding calls, false starts, and missed assignments. Every setback forces the offense into long yardage situations, making it difficult to establish rhythm or gain confidence. Third and long has become a recurring theme, and when your average conversion opportunities fall short, it's nearly impossible to build consistency. Execution isn't just a catchphrase. It's the difference between a functional offense and one that sputters under pressure. The Eagles' coaching staff has acknowledged this, but translating acknowledgement into tangible improvement on the field is the next crucial step. Schematically, there are solutions that don't necessarily require a new coordinator, but they do require creativity, flexibility, and courage to implement changes mid-season. More pre-snap motion, more RPOs, and more use of hers in design quarterback runs could alleviate pressure on Barkley and stretch defenses in new ways. The tempo of the offense must be increased to force opponents to react in real time rather than having all day to anticipate each play. Simplifying reads for hers and creating clear windows of opportunity could mitigate the processing issues that have plagued him this season. These aren't radical ideas. They're fundamental adjustments that could breathe life into an offense full of talent, but lacking cohesion. The contrast between what the Eagles are doing and what other top offenses achieve is stark. Watching coordinators like Ben Johnson, Kyle Shanahan, and Sean McVay orchestrate their units, the difference is clear. Rhythm, feel, and timing create space and opportunity. The Eagles' offense, by contrast, too often relies on individual talent to overcome structural weaknesses, and the results have been inconsistent at best. Hers' throws are under pressure, Barkley's lanes are clogged, and receivers like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith aren't consistently able to exploit coverage mismatches. When matchups are predictable, even elite players struggle to generate big plays. Adjustments in play calling, personnel usage, and tempo could unlock what has so far been a dormant offense. Utilizing more read option plays, quarterback draws, and creative runs for hers could sustain drives, open passing lanes, and give Barkley room to operate. More pre-snap motion and misdirection could confuse defensive assignments and create opportunities for explosive plays. Tempo must be used not just as a gimmick, but as a strategic tool to control the pace of the game, limit defensive reactions, and allow the quarterback to operate instinctively. Each of these adjustments alone would help, but combined, they could transform the offense from stagnant to dynamic. Confidence is a key, often overlooked factor. When players trust the system and the play calling, their execution improves. Currently, there is evidence that players may not fully buy into the scheme or feel empowered by it, and that hesitancy is visible in game footage. Hers looks uncertain, Barkley's cuts are tentative, and receivers hesitate in their routes. When that happens, defenses capitalize instantly. Reinforcing trust through successful execution, even on simple plays, can create a snowball effect, where confidence builds and performance improves. Another factor is the adaptability of the coaching staff. Nick Sirianni has historically shown flexibility in adjusting his team's approach mid-season, whether through in-season coordinator changes or tweaks in philosophy. This adaptability will be critical in the coming weeks, as the Eagles face teams with elite defensive minds who can exploit weaknesses. Minor schematic adjustments, whether in blocking assignments, route combinations, or tempo, could provide the spark necessary for the offense to operate closer to its potential. The talent is present on this roster. The challenge is aligning that talent with a system capable of producing consistent, high-level results. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling through the NFL world after a shocking revelation from Howie Roseman, the architect behind the Philadelphia Eagles roster. In a candid, off-the-record moment that has now leaked into the rumor mill, Roseman reportedly expressed deep regret over a recent acquisition. "I regret signing this player to the Eagles," he allegedly confessed, sparking an instant firestorm among fans and analysts alike. The identity of the player remains tightly under wraps, though speculation is running wild across social media and sports forums. Insiders suggest that this could involve a high-profile signing whose performance hasn't met the lofty expectations set by the team's management. While no official statement has been released, The mere hint of dissatisfaction from Roseman is enough to ignite debate. Was it a misjudgment in scouting? Did the player fail to integrate with the team's culture? Or is this just another chapter in the often turbulent world of NFL roster management? Fans are dissecting every recent game, practice report, and interview, hunting for clues that might reveal who could be the subject of Roseman's candid remark. Analysts are speculating that this could signal a shift in strategy for the Eagles. Some are even questioning whether trades or benching could be imminent, depending on how this internal discontent manifests on the field. Rumors have already begun circulating that a blockbuster move could be on the horizon, with rival teams allegedly keeping a close eye on Philadelphia's locker room dynamics. Adding fuel to the fire, insiders close to the organization suggest that Roseman's comment may not have been entirely spur of the moment. The sentiment reportedly reflects months of frustration, potentially stemming from inconsistent performance, locker room issues, or mismatches with coaching expectations. While the Eagles' front office maintains its usual stoic public demeanor, behind the scenes, the rumor mill is churning faster than ever. The NFL thrives on uncertainty, and Roseman's candid regret has all the ingredients of a narrative that could dominate headlines for weeks. Fans are divided between disbelief and curiosity, while sports talk shows are already dissecting the potential implications. One thing is certain: Philadelphia's roster strategy, and perhaps even the player in question, are suddenly the hottest topics in football circles. Until an official move or statement is made, the league will buzz with speculation, debates, and endless what-ifs. The drama surrounding this cryptic confession is only beginning, and every step the Eagles take from here will be scrutinized under the lens of this newly revealed frustration. The NFL rumor mill is alive, and it's all pointing to one unsettling, tantalizing question. Who is the player that made Howie Roseman say, in no uncertain terms, that he regrets signing him? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.